Croeso nôl, muy bon dias. Welcome back to the Finca Diaries. In this week's episode, I make something. I shout at a dog. Good girl, Frida. Bella, come on. And I dig the garden. I'm back in the big city again today. My usual run to the builders merchants. I did call to the market to see if I could get any plants, but plants must be the next big thing here because they were literally queuing around the block. So I bowed out to there, so I've come to the builders merchants. So you can see the van is full to the brim. And this, I really miss having a proper van. It's better, much more use than a sports car. But anyway, we make do with what we got. I desperately need a haircut. Well, I had one last minute stop and I ended up buying 2 chickens. So I am on my way home now. Quite a lot of fencing. Some more plumbing stuff. I seem to spend most of my time trying to get water from one place to another. Good job my father was a plumber and I picked him up along the way, although I'm pretty sure he wouldn't approve of some of the methods I'm employing. Wednesday morning, very chilly. Either that or I'm just getting acclimatised and soft. Sun is just coming up on my back and I'm climbing what seems like a 45-degree gradient. No big jobs on the Finca this week. It's been one of those weeks. Monday I had to go to town to the builders merchants. I call it a builders merchants. It's strange. There is a builders merchants in town, our town, and you can buy any form of concrete blocks, etc. But a roll of the cable I'm using for my boundaries, or the wire that I'm using for my boundaries, there is €27. And in the city it's €15. Now obviously the economics of and the disruption of driving 3/4 of an hour just to buy one roll of wire just isn't there. But what I do, I try and maximise what I buy. How's that? I will learn to take my foot out of my mouth before I speak one day. Whew. So I ended up going into a poultry cellar next door to the builders merchants, buying some hens. So that was Monday gone. Tuesday was a blur. I don't know what happened. I unloaded the car. We got to be referees with the new hens because the old hens are bullies. There's nothing more spiteful than a hen, except possibly children. So that Tuesday went, Today's Wednesday. We have visitors coming for tea. They're vegetarian, which is a new thing for us, having to cook vegetarian. Julie and I do eat a lot more vegetarian food since coming to Spain, mainly because we got a lot more vegetables. But I'm a confirmed meat eater. Let's see what tomorrow brings. And Friday, well, I've sold a car, in theory, to a chap that's flying in. Maybe the car's too cheap, I don't know, but to fly in to buy a car seems, well, he's either a scammer or the car's too cheap, as I said. Hang on, let me call these dogs. Good girl, Frida. Bella, come on. Bella! Bella gets into a trance-like state and she goes deaf, and has been on the naughty step a couple of times this week because of it. She may well be on the naughty step again now. She's back. She always pushes the boundaries. She gets very attentive when she comes back now, because she gets scolded. So you really are a stubborn bitch. I don't know why I say I'm out walking the dogs. As far as the dogs are concerned, I'm an inconvenience. I much find it hugely annoying that I keep calling them back when there are so many rabbits, foxes, grouse, and goodness knows what else to chase. With a bow, obviously, but any self-respecting bow now has gone to find himself or themselves somewhere nice and safe to hide. Let me put this dog on a lead. I'm trying to educate Bella that every time I call her, she's not going to get told off. So I'm putting her back on a lead and I let her go again, putting her back on a lead and letting her go again. Because Bella thinks she's the boss. She's a very complicated dog. I thought I knew about dogs, but Bella and I are struggling a bit, shall we say. Frida now laying in the dirt just to cool down after the run after the rabbit. What are you doing, Frida? She's almost the same colour as the dirt, but the dirt's got far more intelligence. Good girl, Bella. As I said, Bella is quite a complicated dog. Complicated even further for us by the fact that she's also an extreme athlete. Frida can run at over 30 kilometers an hour, but Bella is in a different league altogether, and she can go from a standing start before you can even tell her to stop. She can be half a kilometer away. Good girl, Bella. Good girl, Bella. And this is her now thinking she's done something wrong with her ears down. Good girl. Come on. Wait. Good girl, Bella. Good girl. Good girl. I'll never be Caesar Milan, but she has to learn how to stop. Good girl. Good girl. My broad beans are at an end. We harvested them mostly yesterday. Still a few stragglers, I say harvested. We've been harvested them over the last few months. Neither Julie or I particularly like broad beans, but they're a good source of nitrogen for the beds. So they made sure that we kept the beds irrigated over the winter. As you can see, I got very little weed development now because of they stopped the light. This is the bed I'm planning to put melons in this year, and all the cuttings of the broad beans. I'm at the moment just laying them on the bed and they die back. Come on, chickens, out to the kitchen.
What?
Out to the kitchen.
Come on. Come on, look. In. Hey.
Here they go. Another reason Julie and I don't like broad beans, peeling the blimmin' things. There must be an easier way. Two down. All those to go, and another box. Wish me luck. Well, that's what a bag full of broad beans gives you in 2 hours of my life. Like I said, seemed like an awful lot of work to me for a veg that tastes vile. But we're going to make falafel of them. Falafel. The only way to eat broad beans. Summer has arrived at the Finca, and apparently we've got unprecedented temperatures coming this next couple of weeks. And I've still got some garden beds to sort out. Now previously, I've been sieving the stones out of the beds through a plastic crate by hand, which is, you know, been quite a chore. So when it's hot, or getting hot, we got about 25 degrees now, so I don't really want to be spending all day digging and sieving. And as I've said previously, we just can't get hold of the resources to do proper no dig. Basically, no dig means put a bit of cardboard down for a weed suppression and then cover it with about 4 inches of compost. No, I just can't get hold of enough resources for that. So if I don't sieve, just the stones haunt us. And every time I put the fork in, if I can get the fork in, just to try and aerate the soil as opposed to dig, then I inevitably hit a rock, and I just it's just the bane of my life. So I need to try and speed up the sifting process. So I have my uncle's old cement mixer, which is probably almost as old as me, but I do remember my uncle buying this when I was probably just started comprehensive school, so it's about 40-year-old, but they don't make them like this anymore. It's bulletproof. Even my son commented, why isn't it all dented like most cement mixers? Well, it's not dented like most cement mixers because it seems to be made of 2mm steel. Anyway, he's enjoying retirement in Spain, but I've got that. And I've got an old 40-gallon drum, and I'm going to try and mount the drum onto the mixer with a little bit of wire mesh in it as a bit of a jury-rigged soil sifter. The drum has previously been used as a compost bin, just got a great big hole in it, which is going to complicate matters, but you know, let's see what we can do. Let a bit of timber into there. Good job. enough for what we're doing. Okay. Obviously that one block I've got in there, to locate it, it's not gonna hold it when it's spinning with a barrel full of earth in it, so I need to help secure that to the mixer. Now I'm going to use something like this and bolt it on, and then I can easily weld the holes back up at a later date. But anyway. Even better. Actually, this hole that I said was in an inappropriate position has been quite helpful. Took pity on my battery drill. All these big holes are a bit much for it on a regular basis. I don't like this drill. This thing bites. It will, if it jams, it will spin you around and around and around, just like the song. In fact, spiraling fracture of the third metacarpal caused me once, so I should have thrown the damn thing away then. But sometimes you just need it. There's hardly a thing about it. If it works, who cares? Now here's the plan. Dig a trench, sift the dirt, and put the sifted dirt back in the trench. Now here's the floor in the plan. My beds, as I call them, the growing sections of my garden, are 760 millimeters wide. In old money, to all those who went to school before 1968, it's about 30 inches. Now I haven't got a 30-inch bucket for my little digger. I have got one that's 600, 24 inches roughly wide, but that doesn't quite do it, so I'm probably going to use a smaller bucket because, well, the ground is going to be hard. I'm not sure my little digger will pull it out in one fell swoop, even if I had a bucket the correct size. And by using a smaller bucket, it'll break up the clumps a bit more as I'm digging. Obviously it's going to take a bit longer to dig, but then hopefully that'll be offset by the time it saves me to sift, so I got to change bucket. Well, as I predicted, it's hard, and look at it, you wonder how anything can grow in that. So I think I'll have my lunch and set up the rest of my apparatus. I've got a feeling it's going to be a bit of a mission, very dusty. And I know some of you were saying, but if you sieve all that dirt, it's going to affect your drainage. You're probably right. But my problem at the minute is water retention. You know, I got a feeling both are linked. But I really think these stones are better gone. And if I do my bit and keep it moist, then drainage shouldn't be a problem. To be honest, my ground is more agoraphobic, I think is the term. It doesn't take moisture. But look at the blinking stones in it. You know, how can you garden in that? Well, they do obviously, but I can't. Right, well, I'm going to have my dinner and I'm going to get the rest of my gear up here. Well, while I've been having marking out session up the top, my ladies have been making my lunch. It's a shame they couldn't cook them as well. I'm thinking scrambled eggs with an onion from the garden and a chilli from the garden. Oop, so. in the bottom of the trench I'm putting just bits of, well, in this instance, broad bean plants that I've been using as mulch, just to try and help the drainage, and as it rots down it'll obviously improve the soil. Well, not obviously, hopefully. For those of you that haven't dropped off yet, you might have noticed that the ground is a slightly different colour. And if you're really paying attention, you will have noticed that I put the bigger bucket back on the mini digger. Well, this is because I watered the ground last night to try and make it a bit softer and easier to dig, and it's worked. I mean, it is a bit of a high risk thing because I could just have turned it into a muddy swamp. But anyway, it's working. Do we, Bella? So after partially backfilling, I'm adding a layer of compost. Now, I thought with myself, now did I want to sift the compost and put it on the top, or did I want to put it on when it's very coarse and sort of put it 4 inches down? Well, I've opted to do it this way, thinking that all the bits will help retain some moisture, give the dog something to chew obviously, and will eventually break down and add to the soil condition. The downside of it is obviously I've just spent, I don't know, an hour and a half sifting this bed, and now I'm reintroducing lumps essentially, but at least the lumps will break down. After being through the sifter, it's almost a pleasure to move it. I think there's still enough stones in it for drainage not to be an issue. I'm confident though that if I let this dry now, it'll go like iron again. So I need to try and keep it somewhat moist and not walking it really to compact it again. It's not hard work, it's just slow. Well, thanks for watching till the end. I hope you found it interesting, maybe informative. The dogs are off. I'm trying to do a video every 10 days or so, so if you want to like and sorry, the dogs are nuts. If you want to like and subscribe, it'll save my mother nagging you to watch them anyway.